My task is to provide to the utmost limits of my capability the best possible care to those in need of my aid and assistance. To this end, I will aid all who are needful, paying no heed to my own desires and wants, treating friend, foe, and stranger alike, placing their needs above my own. This is the creed of the human combat medic, or simply doc, to the humans that depend on them. Previously, I discussed the chaplain, how to identify them, and why they should not be targeted. Make no mistake, the same rules apply to combat medics. Thankfully, medics are easily identified by a large red cross, crescent, or other symbol on a white background that is similar to the chaplain insignia. Yes, it is a tempting target, but let me make this crystal clear. If the medic goes down, not even your gods can save you. Human combat medics are very similar to chaplains in that they will save anyone without a second thought. Ally, enemy, it does not matter. Unlike the chaplain, however, the medic is armed. The weapons that they carry are employed only to protect their patients and are not employed to instigate a firefight, but understand that they can and will use them to great effect to protect the wounded they are treating. Unlike the chaplain, I do have personal experience with human combat medics, so why would I bother to try and educate you from a dry and wordy book, probably written by some chair polisher who has never left their office, when I can share first-hand experience? My battalion had encountered a human-controlled forward operations and observation post on a ridgeline near the Goramato Valley. Yes, I was there. Due to the humans' elevated position on the ridge, our command decided to employ artillery and crew-serve weapons instead of small arms. It did seem like the logical choice at the time, and a small skirmish did ensue into the night. Sometime after night had fallen, the humans started making direct contact with our unit over an open channel. Curious, command entertained the communication. For all any of us knew, the base might be requesting a surrender. However, the humans informed us that they wanted to retrieve their wounded instead. Believing that this was merely a ruse to bring in reinforcements, command decided to cease fire and wait for the augmentary forces, then opened fire on their shuttles before they could land. It was already demoralizing to be pinned down and surrounded. How much more humiliating to watch your additional forces as they are swatted out of the sky. When the transports arrived, we were delighted to see the bright red and white targets painted boldly on their transports. It would be like shooting paper targets on the training range back home, and we unloaded with every weapon at our disposal at those red and white targets. One after another, their transports went down in flaming heaps of tortured metal. But I saw something in the fight I had not expected. It was a single transport that had managed to survive the gauntlet and was hovering over the outpost. Such a tempting target. As I was lining up my shot, the side doors opened and the humans began to use ropes to enter the position. Fascinated, and rather cocky, I considered shooting the ropes, until I observed a human lowering a stretcher. The humans hadn't lied. They were attempting to evacuate the wounded. I still don't know why I hadn't taken the shot. Stunned, I guess. Curious, maybe. But that simple act of holding fire would impact my life in a way I would never have expected. There is a human phrase, mad dogs and Englishmen, which is quite appropriate when I think back to that night. Seeing their docs being shot out of the sky didn't instill a sense of foreboding like it would most other species. Instead, it inspired a grim determination and blind rage that other species have come to acknowledge in humans. See, when the chips are down, humans don't give up. They go all in. A call had managed to reach human command to inform them that their medics were under attack. Only 2 words, broadcast on all channels. Those 2 words carried with them a demand for retribution. Broken arrow. In response, every goddamn human who could respond turned their attention on us. Atmospheric fighters and assault aircraft, suborbital gunships, even their warships in near atmospheric orbit lined up and rained hell on our position. Nothing from myth and legend could compare to the absolute havoc we had invoked upon ourselves, and in that righteous fury they unleashed the most unholy of hells upon us. It was after the smoke and dust began to settle, looking around the moonscape that had once been populated with damn near 1,000 soldiers. I now found myself alone, the sole survivor of what became known as Hell's Half-Acre. I was captured for a short time, and rotated into a prisoner exchange that was already being conducted. In that short time, I was allowed to ask 2 questions of my human captors. The first question was why I had been placed in the prisoner exchange. Your command requested you for debrief on Hell's Half-Acre. The second question, why me? You didn't fuck with the medics.